The following podcast has been rated Listener MA. It contains strong language, violence, adult situations, nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
Two excellent stand-up comedians. First to my left, we have the 1984 Kingman County T-Ball Defensive Player of the Year award winner, Mr. Jeremy Joseph.
What's up, Scooter McGurman?
What's up? Yeah, he did it. He called me
Only
Scooter
because you
McGurman.
didn't do it.
I know.
That was
That's
your
true.
reward. Don't ever expect it again.
Okay, fair. That's fair. That's fair. Also, another great comedian. We like to call him the Wreck, Mr. Derek Alders.
Good afternoon.
Hey, buddy. Hey, it's a normal hello. This
It
is
is
going
a
to be a
normal hello.
fucking awesome episode already. I can tell. All right.
I would just like to point out it is almost 8 p.m.
That is
Fair
afternoon.
enough. Yeah, that is.
It's technically afternoon.
Actually, any time is afternoon someday.
Yeah,
Good pre-midnight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, a week recap.
All right.
How was you guys' weeks? What happened? What did we do?
Well, I talked about tree shopping.
Uh-huh.
Went and bought it,
Nice.
as in actually paid for it.
Pull the trigger.
You ain't going to believe this. The tree that we had initially wanted to get, they sold out.
You're shitting me.
A place that sells trees ran out of trees.
Pines are a hot commodity.
God, I wish it was a pine. This would be so much easier to take care of.
Yeah.
No, we went with an October Glory maple, which turns very pretty red in the fall time.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty happy about that. And then Saturday, my cousin lives in Wellington. They had a pool put in, and so she was wanting to show off her fucking pool.
You showed off that fucking bod.
I sure didn't. I wore coveralls. And
Squirrely Dan went swimming.
Absolutely. I just hung out at the pool. But Jesus Christ, did they go all out on that setup.
No kidding.
Oh, fuck. Nobody deserves it more than her. She's worked so goddamn hard in her life. But they really did it up nice.
Well, nice.
Yeah.
Good for you, buddy.
That's what I did.
All right. Fun week. All right, Derek. What was your week?
I went to Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, we...
So this was that trip that we talked about a while ago, whether or not you were going to dress up like Harry Potter nerds.
Yes.
How'd that go?
I did not dress up like a Harry Potter nerd. Thank God.
Dressed up like a Harry Potter badass.
That's right. Yeah, I had the tattoo of the lightning bolt on my fucking forehead.
On the head of his dick.
Yeah. Still there. Ironically, that's not removable.
Did it himself with a fucking switchblade.
No, I used to
And just
get
broke some dick pins.
I flew out on Frontier Airlines, or as I now call it, the Greyhound of the Skies. That was very lovely. I had a tray table that wouldn't fit much more than a shot glass on it, which you would probably need because I had to be blindly fucking drunk to ever book that flight again. I got to Denver, met up with some friends. We went off-roading up in the mountains in my buddy's Jeep. Found a lot of good places to hide bodies. So for you listeners out there, if you're looking to become serial killers, move right outside of Denver. Lots of you're never going to get caught. I promise. I mean, they still didn't find the two I just hit up there a couple weeks ago. But anyway, so we went to this dinner, which was I would best describe as medieval times meets high school theater.
Yeah.
These tickets were about $250 a ticket.
Nice.
Essentially is what I spent for about what I would have felt comfortable spending around $10 to $12 a ticket.
Jesus.
Yeah, there was a fucking magician, so that tells you everything you need to know now.
They call them wizards.
No, wizards don't do card tricks. So
The good ones do.
the good ones do. Maybe that's why I didn't like Harry Potter that much.
Yeah, it was just all solid card tricks.
There was no card tricks in Harry Potter at all.
Spoiler alert, that's how he kills Voldemort. Is this your card?
So, Yeah, they led basically the way it all worked out. Like it was $50 for the drink package, which included 3 hours of drinks. I was like, okay, I'm in for that. Turns out it was only beer and wine, none of their specialty drinks, no spirits, nothing like that. So, yeah, I would have had to have drank 12 beers in that 3 hours, or 11 essentially. It was $54 to recoup that cost, which I really fucking needed to, but I didn't. So I kind of got hosed there. They had a point system to win some fake fucking cup. And the way you acquired points
It's the
was
House Cup, Derek.
No, it was like the Denslow Cup or something. But you basically you accumulated points by they did paper, rock, scissors, but it was dragons, wizards, and ghouls. That was one.
Oh God.
Yep. You blew up a balloon and then see who could smash it the fastest. There was that. They did chants. Our house chant was "We are awesome." Yeah, or no, it was wow, 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 wow. We are awesome. That was but you had to have like jazz fingers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you also got points for buying the performers alcohol to make them forget that they ever signed up to do that shit. So we got done with that, and after 3 hours, and I only cut myself a few times to see if I could still feel things. And we went to another bar across the street after that was over. And had a good time there. So.
Okay, well then I guess
I have never been more jealous of anyone in my life. That sounds awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, it's actually awesome.
I thought you put in jazz hands.
No, you started with the jazz hands. And
Oh.
then awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I fucked it up. See, this is why I can't go on something like this. I'll fuck it up.
You would have not won the Denslow Cup.
Oh, God
you
damn it.
you would have
No, I
cost
love-
our team 60 points.
I love that cup.
Jesus.
well, I got to take my wife again to dinner. We went to Stearman, which if you've never been,
It's just you and her. That seems like something you should do on a nightly basis, is have dinner with her.
well, actually,
Well, I've got her on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right. Okay.
So
no, Stearman is a really awesome place. They have like live flying, or they have planes that'll come in like planes from back in the
to the future?
Yeah,
Sweet.
awesome, yeah.
Yeah, they're
really
called
cool.
DeLoreans.
Yeah, I know. And it was a lot of fun. They have good beer. We went with another couple and had a blast. It was,
Where's this at?
Stearman. It's in, I think, Benton or Bentley. I mixed up the Benton Bees.
So you and another couple
I
went out
don't
to dinner?
believe it's
Yeah.
Benton because
Did,
I actually just ate in Benton a couple of weeks ago at the barn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Great place. Great chicken.
For
fried
what it's
chicken.
worth, this podcast is in Kansas, so
Yes.
Yeah.
it's really not this hickish as we're making out.
The odds of Benton having 2 restaurants, the odds of them having one are slim,
Okay.
and they wound up with one. So
Benton that's northern.
it's out by Hutchinson.
Okay, then no.
God, I can
Bentley.
see. I can already see all of our listeners Googling where Benton is, so they can make a trip because they've got their big family vacation coming
I
up
would
next
highly
year.
recommend the barn. in Benton.
And I would highly recommend Stearman. It's
Yeah.
a fucking cool ass place.
You can actually stay in the barn and then go to Stearman.
right.
Like how old of planes they have? Like World War II era?
Yeah, World War II and stuff.
Yeah.
They weren't. None of them were flying because it was raining and then it was kind of shitty weather. But they opened up all of the garage doors and stuff, so it was a really nice, cool atmosphere.
They have the American planes from
They're
World War
called
II
hangar
era,
doors,
or
Scotty.
the Japanese planes from World War II era.
Actually, the German planes, man.
German planes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm fucking kidding. But yeah, it was a really good time. But for those of you guys listening to this podcast for the very first time, this actually is a sports podcast. This is a podcast we like to take very inappropriate jokes about sports and go a little bit too far, and even the jokes that are not about sports. We like to take those far too. So welcome in.
Actually, before
Yeah.
we get started, Scotty, there's one thing I wanted to let you guys know.
Fuck.
I'm retiring from the Sportscast, so I'll see you guys later.
So anyway, Jim.
At least he didn't wait till a critical time. to
I know,
do it.
right? Exactly, right. So yeah, we had a lot of stuff, which we will get to that a little bit later. But I figured today we're gonna.
I'm back.
Yeah, no kidding. He's pulling a Gronk.
That was like a luck, actually.
No, Luck's not come back.
Oh yeah, true.
So we had we're getting close to October, which us guys as baseball fans we're We're excited for October because that is the playoffs, which
You're
currently,
excited for October.
right now I
Me
am.
and Jeremy, I don't think are very excited at all.
Shut the fuck up. You still have a shot. Your Cubbies do still have, and I really hope they do, because then whatever I predicted would actually come true.
I think they get swept by the Mets. And then
It's possible.
and they're already 2.5 out. The Mets overtake them in the wild card after this series, and they don't look back.
Let's look and see what we got. Because, okay, we have a month of baseball still left. There's about 30, 35 games left in the season for most teams.
Yep, 35 more games, no more Joe Madden.
Woo! That's true. They're probably going to let his ass go. But currently right now, if you go to the National League, you look at the Central, the Cardinals are leading the Central by 3 games over the Cubs.
Okay.
Atlanta is leading the East over Washington, who is Washington's 5.5 games back.
I love that Washington's doing better than Philly without Harper.
I do too. I really do too.
Because I don't think, did they ever make the postseason with him?
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Did they?
Yeah, we beat them in 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so, and that, well, we'll get to the actual breakdowns. But then we go to the West, which the LA Dodgers are fucking smoking the West.
They're going to win the World. They're not going to win the World. They're going to be in the World
I was going to say, be careful. But the closest team behind them is the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are 19.5 games back. In the American League, you got
Go
the
barn burner there in the West.
They're probably not going to make that up in 30-some games.
Right. In the East, the Yankees have a 9.5 game lead over the Tampa Bay Rays. Boston, kind of, they're probably not going to make the playoffs.
That's weird too, because there really wasn't a lot of changes in Boston.
No.
A lot of, they kept pretty much everybody from the World Series team last year.
Yeah,
and
the Yankees were going through injury after injury after injury at the beginning of the season.
They're still there.
They're still there.
Yeah.
So then you got the Minnesota Twins are 3.5 in front of Cleveland, so that's kind of a tight race too. Then you have Houston over Oakland Athletics, so the Athletics are 9 games behind. But if you look at the wild card, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So the Cubs right now currently are in the wild card spot.
They're number 2.
They are number 2. Currently, Philadelphia and New York are right behind them. Mm-hmm. The National League wild card is so ridiculously close. Washington has 4 games up, so they're the wild card spot to beat as of right now. 4 games up on the Cubs. The Philadelphia Phillies are only 1 game behind. Mets are 2 games behind. Milwaukee's only 2.5 games behind. Arizona's only 4 games behind. So all the way down to until you get to San Francisco at 4.5 games behind. That whole National League division or that National League is actually fairly close.
I'm still making my call. Both wild cards come out of the East.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be the Cubs, and I think I'd be okay with the Nationals. I think it would be beautiful. It'd be poetic if the Nationals make it just because Bryce Harper left. I think that would be way better. And I'm also rooting for the Cubs for the main reason for that, because that would then mean that Philadelphia doesn't make it. I wouldn't mind if the Mets passed everybody, but as long as it's as long as
I think the Mets are going to get there.
If it's the Mets and the Nationals, okay, I was wrong with my prediction.
That's what I think.
But I just don't want Philadelphia in there. I don't know about you guys.
I don't want them in there either.
I can't believe that there is no talk of the Brewers.
Yeah.
They're just
the Mets, I think, are like the hottest team in baseball right now.
The Brewers right now are currently in the possibility of getting swept by the St. Louis Cardinals at Milwaukee right now.
And you guys called that shit a month ago about the Mets? Mm-hmm. Month and a half probably.
Yeah.
But they are just
made that Stroman
fucking
trade.
They turned it around. It was
yes,
like you said, there was
charge.
that one game that just all of a sudden turned everything around, and they've been hotter than shit ever since.
They made that trade for Stroman, and that really did it.
Yep.
And now, like the Cubs this week, and you may think I'm nuts, I think they get swept, but they also, this week, they have to face DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Stroman.
Yeah,
so those
that's
are
true.
And they got a 4-game series with them, but 3 of those 4. And then the Cubs also have the same bullpen that they've had all year, and on the road, so they can't win on the road.
Well, and I think I kind of sold myself short with the Cardinals. The Cardinals' actual bullpen, starting rotation, Flaherty's on fire right now. You have everybody back now. Yadier Molina's back. Ozuna's back. Bader is back out in the outfield. Everybody that
the master.
I love Harrison Bader.
I call him the master.
Because he is the master.
Bader.
Uh-huh. But
That's the kind of lowbrow jokes we do here at the Unfiltered Sports
That's
Cast.
true.
Stay tuned, and you'll hear us talk about farts. Somebody get Diane Roth out here.
We are on a 5-game winning streak, and
Got him.
It took me a second.
we're on a 5-game winning streak, and
She's a
won
wonderful woman.
8 of the last 2. So the Cardinals are heating up, which that gives me a little bit of confidence, especially considering the only position that we really don't have back completely is a closer. But that's where it gets you in the playoffs, and that's why I don't think they're going to go very far.
Nobody out of the Central is going to be in the CS.
You're probably right.
It's going to be the Dodgers and probably Atlanta, maybe the Mets.
I would probably bet Dodgers and God damn it. All right, I'll take
the Mets.
Atlanta.
I would take the Mets.
I don't think so. I think Atlanta's pretty fucking strong.
Atlanta is strong. Yeah. I don't know. My dark horse in the playoffs right now is the Mets. And I know they're not even technically in.
They're not even in the wild
They're
card
not
yet,
even there yet. But
there's-
I think that's my dark horse.
There's a
in the
lot
playoffs.
of baseball to be played.
Derek knows horses.
He does.
I do.
So currently, like we said,
I'm
you
hung
have
like one
in the
in my
American
dreams.
in the American League. You got the Yankees, Minnesota, and Houston have all but clinched it. But as far as the wild card goes, Cleveland has a half a game up on Oakland and Tampa Bay. Oakland and Tampa Bay are tied, so those two would then have to play a play-in game to be the next wild card spot if it ended today, which I hate. Or you've got Boston, that's 6 games out. Texas, that's 12 games out. Angels, 13.5. It's over, folks.
How are the Angels that bad every year with the best player in baseball?
They have the best player in baseball,
Yeah,
that's it.
and that's it.
Well, they had an old Pujols. They have an old Pujols. And
Yeah.
They had an old Hamilton. I don't even know if he's even there anymore.
I don't know.
But I just
But
think
that's
that I don't even know why Trout would. I mean, I respect him for extending that deal
Sure.
and signing that, but I mean, it's clear that they're not trying. They're just banking off of Trout. It almost seems
Sure.
like they don't give a fuck if they win or not. They've
Maybe.
got the best player in baseball. People are going to come to see him. They're
That's
going to
exactly
sell tickets.
right. You nailed
They have
it.
Ohtani, I guess, but I just that makes no sense to me. How it doesn't seem like they even make a run in free agency. Like I said, outside of Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it right on the head, though. We have the best player in baseball, and we're going to sell tickets, but we're not going to make the playoffs.
That's terrible, though.
Yeah, well, people in LA, while they attend the games heavily, they don't give a fuck about baseball.
That's
out
probably
there.
true, too.
If Trout doesn't win a World Series, it's a fucking disgrace.
It would be a shame.
Yeah.
It would be. He has to get at least one, more than one, technically. I feel like, but
Sure, for as much as he's being paid.
And as much pull as I think he has with that team and the kind of guy he is, if after a couple 3 years, if they're not pushing, trying to make the team better, make a winner out of it, I think he will demand a trade, or he will push them to get better.
I don't
And the
think he'll
Yankees will
demand a
pick
trade.
him
I don't think he'll demand. I don't either.
I don't think he'll ever demand a trade.
It's just not him.
No. He's behind the scenes. He's quiet. He's not outspoken. He signs for everybody.
Yeah.
Yet his signature's still worth $300 on a baseball, $350. And he
Yeah,
signs.
but he's
all
got
the time.
integrity. That's the thing. And if your team is not striving for excellence, you're spinning your wheels. They're fucking him over.
I feel like that. Yes.
Yeah, and so I think that eventually he will come to the conclusion that you owe it to me for what I've given your team. You owe it to me to build a winner around me.
Houston's strong. Houston is a fucking strong ass team.
Yeah.
You've got Texas coming up, but there's no reason that Anaheim shouldn't be competitive.
Well, and
There's
who
just
knows
no
what
reason.
Anaheim's going to do once they drop that dead weight with Pujols.
That's true.
That was the worst, one of the worst. I knew that too, and I don't know if I talked to you or if we were friends back then. I hope not.
No, I don't think.
But
we
I even thought that Pujols that St. Louis is very smart for not re-signing him, because I knew as soon as he signed that contract he was going to stop taking roids, and he got his payday.
Yep.
And that was it. He's
went
old.
Went out to L.A.
And I think you're talking about a playing game that could potentially be in the wild card. I think we could be looking at another one in the Central.
It's possible. It
Minnesota
really is.
and Cleveland are going to be. It's going to be neck and neck right there at the end.
Well, one of those two are going to win the division.
Sure.
One's going to win. Yeah, it's
But
going to be like
it
Milwaukee.
wouldn't
or
surprise me if there was a play-in game between the two of them, a one-game playoff.
like last year with the Cubs and the
Right.
Brewers.
Yeah, it very well could be. And in the Central, you really don't know. Seriously, you go down the list and you're already to the 6th, 7th team, and they're only 4.5 games out. The NL is a lot fucking closer than everybody really gives it credit. It literally could be the Cubs and the fucking Diamondbacks when this is all said and done.
Well, the NL is just fighting to see who loses to Houston in the World Series.
Well,
The World Series, in my opinion, is going to be fucking the ALCS when it's probably going to be Houston and the Yankees.
yeah, I think
And you're going
right.
to see, but the difference is Houston has an offense. The Yankees starting pitching isn't that great.
No.
And the Houston has three aces that they're going to throw at them. The Yankees are going to have to face Cole, Verlander,
And
Greinke twice if it goes 7.
Yep.
And you may see one of those guys. You may see Verlander 3 times
Yeah.
in a 7-game series. And the Yankees are an offensive power, but I don't see them being able to I see Houston with the Yankees pitching scoring more runs than I do the Yankees hitting fucking 5 dingers off of Verlander or Cole.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I just don't want LA to get there. That's the only thing. I don't want the Dodgers to be in the World Series.
Unfortunately, they probably will, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to win.
No.
Which is actually kind of funnier, in my opinion, 3 years in a row to get there and not win it.
No. So
Yeah, if that happens, they're the
They'll
Bills of fucking
yeah,
baseball.
they'll have to move to Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I've got unfortunately I'm gonna pick the Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros. Houston Astros taking it on.
Well, I got Houston and the Mets.
Really? Okay.
I got Houston and Dodgers.
You're the smart one out of all of us. You're not
Yes,
thinking,
yes.
whatever.
I want to be different.
For God's sake, yes.
Oh well. So that's baseball. Moving on.
I'm sorry, did I say Astros? I meant Orioles.
Yeah, that could happen.
That'll be a good ALCS. Orioles and the Royals.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the most entertaining baseball I've ever seen.
Speaking of the Royals,
They played.
they're talking about selling.
Yeah, you were saying something about that.
That guy Glass bought him for like $96 million when he bought him. I can't remember. It was in the last 10, 12 years.
97, I want to say.
Was it 97?
Yeah.
And he bought him for $96 million, and now they're in negotiations to sell, which they believe it's going to happen for over $1 billion. What a return on your investment!
Yeah, no shit. Well, I mean,
Jesus.
Sure.
he didn't buy the team because he was a bad businessman. I mean, he was the guy who basically made Walmart it is. He was the CEO of Walmart for many, many years. And, he's an excellent businessman. He put the right general manager in place to build a winner to make that team to where the city started supporting the team again. And
If you're going to sell, though, why don't you sell in 16 or maybe 17 until you wait for them to get so bad? And then the fact that they're going to sell for $1 billion and they're this bad is amazing to me.
Sure.
the only thing that really I can see is that he's very old and it's, taking some stress on him. And his son pretty well runs the business end of it. And so maybe he doesn't want to do it anymore.
I understand that, but how are you getting $1 billion for that franchise when
it's not very good
and people aren't going to the games? You're not making
exactly.
it up in merch, and you're not making it up in ticket revenue. So how is that franchise? And it's a small market. Really, I mean, Kansas City isn't small in my opinion, but it would be classified as a small market team. How is that $1 billion?
Second or third smallest market. Milwaukee and maybe Oakland is smaller.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can figure is, ticket prices have tripled or quadrupled since when he bought the team. It used to be you could get nosebleed seats for $6.
You can now. They're $5.
No shit.
They're $5 right now.
That's not the face value on them.
That's the high V nose. Yeah, the high V seats are $5.
Okay, well,
they advertised that a couple months ago for the rest of the season. They were $5 nosebleeds.
Well, and I honestly I don't know the business end of it. Obviously, if somebody's willing to buy that, they won't just let anybody buy a major league team. You have to be a businessman or woman or somebody who's got a strong history in running successful businesses and with integrity, and they just don't let anybody buy these teams. It's got to be approved by the owners association. And so clearly on paper it's making sense. I don't know how those numbers work out, but obviously it does. They wouldn't The reason
they
they can sell it for $1 billion is because somebody's willing to pay $1 billion.
Right. They wouldn't do it if it wasn't going to work.
The guy that's going to buy it is actually John Sherman. He's a local. He's heading up this team of people to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually he's a local businessman in Kansas City, but he's a minority shareholder in the Indians. So he's going to have to sell.
That would be a conflict of interest. I
Oh,
would
absolutely.
certainly think.
Yeah, especially in the same division.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can even own a fraction
Right.
of one of two different teams in the same sport. I know that.
I don't think so.
I don't think you can. Now you can. You can own was it Reinsdorf or the guy that owns the White Sox also owns, I think, part of the owns the Bulls or the Blackhawks. One of those. That's all kind of intertwined.
Jerry Jones is part owner of the Mavericks.
Is he?
Yeah. In fact, he kind of bankrolled Mark Cuban to start his all that shit.
That's my favorite owner ever is fucking
Mark
Mark
Cuban.
And they had that big rumor whenever the Cubs were selling. The Tribune sold the Cubs.
Yeah.
And there was the big rumor that Mark Cuban was going to buy him, and I wanted that to happen so bad.
But he's from Dallas.
I don't give a fuck. Mark Cuban. I like Mark Cuban. He's
I like him
outspoken.
too. I like him too.
He's fun. The owners would never approve it because they're a bunch of crotchety old fucks. But Mark Cuban would have been great for baseball, and there was also talk about him buying the Pirates
Okay.
after the Cubs. But Mark Cuban would have been great for baseball because he says what he thinks. He's got the money to buy the players. There's no cap. Can you imagine Mark Cuban with no fucking salary cap? That team,
No.
we would be way better than what we are right now.
Sure.
And he would hold people accountable.
Sure.
I like Mark Cuban.
I like Mark Cuban too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy knows his shit.
Let me ask you a question. When you were talking about the Cubs and them getting rid of Joe Madden, if they win the make the wild card, do they get rid of him?
I think it's World Series or bust for Joe Madden.
I agree.
Okay.
He cannot manage a bullpen to save his life. You fired countless hitting coaches, and you still either put up 13 or 1. You fired countless pitching coaches since Bosio left. Every year they've had a new pitching coach. The bullpen's been fucking garbage every year. And I think some of this you have to hang on Theo. And I don't like doing that because Theo essentially is the reason we won the World Series in 2016. But Theo is also responsible for the bad contract of Yu Darvish, the terrible contract of Tyler Chatwood, the bad contract of Hayward, though he's playing better.
He's doing well this season.
He's doing okay. But
I like him.
He doesn't need to fucking be leading off. He's like 150 or 160 in a leadoff spot.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, personnel decisions are typically, that's the general manager. And then it's the manager's job to manage the personnel that he's given.
You're pulling a guy with 70 or 80 pitches in the fifth inning, and you know your bullpen is shit.
Yeah.
I feel like they won in 16 in spite of him when they had a huge lead in Game 6 and they threw Chapman out there again, and he threw 30 or 40 pitches in Game 6 of the World Series. They got the win, but you had no need to pull him out. You had no need to pull Hendricks as early as you did. You had no need to pull Lester once Lester started dealing when you replaced Hendricks with him in 16. And then you tried out Chapman, and he gives up a fucking 2-run dinger to fucking tie the game. There's no need to do any of that.
Yeah.
So they won, I feel like, in 16 in spite of Joe Madden.
Possibly.
I think that he's done. His train is came through. He's finished. I want a guy like Girardi, and I said it last year, and a lot of Cub fans have crucified me for fucking saying fire Joe Madden, and that he's the best manager that they've ever had. But here's my analogy with that: is just because we've had a lot of mediocre managers doesn't make Joe Madden the best manager we've ever had. The Chicago Bears have had a lot of mediocre quarterbacks. Just because Jay Cutler's stats are better than them doesn't make him a fucking Hall of Famer.
Right. Okay.
Well, yeah, and Joe Madden was unfairly bestowed with this. When he took the Rays, basically an expansion team,
Yes.
and won the ALCS, he was given this title of one of the elite managers
Sure.
in the major leagues because he, for 1 year, managed to pull a rabbit out of his ass. And, I mean, it really, he didn't deserve the accolades that he was given necessarily. I mean, that was a great job to get the Rays to the World Series, but, he's really, from what I've seen, almost an incompetent manager.
Yeah, very, very. He can't
He
manage.
tried
a pen.
everything he could to lose that World Series.
Oh, absolutely.
He did.
And I don't
That's
understand
totally
the
true.
shuffling of the lineups, and a lot of people talk about that. I think it affects a player when you go into every game and you don't know what even fucking position you're playing.
Right.
And you don't know where you're
are in
hitting.
the-
You may be lead off today, you may be in the 5-hole tomorrow and the 8-hole the next day.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's consistency, and I think eventually it fucks with these guys. And in the pen, the same thing, the same exact thing. And these guys are giving up fucking dingers left and right, and you still trot them out there. And I liked a lot of Cub fans don't like Pedro Strop. They hate him. But Strop had been the most consistent reliever we've had over the last 3 or 4 years. And then this year, he's having a bad year. And Montgomery was the same way. I think Montgomery may be done.
Sure.
Strop, I think, is about there too.
Yeah.
And he still trots Strop out. At this point, when you keep giving up game-losing home runs, why do you keep bringing the same guy out there? That makes zero sense.
Well, he wants the Cardinals to win.
Apparently.
Let me just say, back in college, I picked this chick up at a bar, tapped her right in the 8-hole. That's where you want to be.
Right in the 8-hole? It's behind the knee, right? Uh-huh. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's when she just kind of makes a crease in there, and then you just lube it on up and shove it in there.
Yeah.
Between thigh and calf. Oh, that's soft tissue.
Yeah. You don't want to know where the 9-hole is.
I tore her ACL up.
Anal crucial ligament. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know why it smelled like shit. Yeah. That was weird.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so moving on, let's talk a little bit about the NFL because over the last week it has been a fucking madhouse.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Holy shit. Obviously, we'll get to Andrew Luck here in a second. But the first place I want to start off with is Gronk. Gronk came out, he had a little bit of a conference or something and gave himself a little bit of a speech that...
I was disappointed and crushed a beer can on his head.
I was too.
Yeah.
It's weird for a guy who would like to retire and fade into obscurity. Typically, the best way to do that is not by calling a press conference.
It's kind
just to let everybody know I'm not going to do anything. Just hey everybody, you remember me, Gronk? Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
I do that at work every time I go in.
Yeah,
before my shift starts, I'm like, just so you guys know, I'm not going to do anything. Mm-hmm. And I pull a Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
There you go. Nice. But everything that he said was kind of like, he was burnt out. He was always hurt. I mean, it's the exact same thing that sounds like that Luck fucking said.
Did you read the thing, though, that he said he had like 100 milliliters or something of blood drained out? He had internal bleeding in his leg.
You were saying something about that, but no, I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, he said he had internal bleeding in his leg, and they drained out a shitload of blood from his leg, and he was
that sounds like a good fucking idea.
He said he couldn't sleep more than 30 minutes a night because I don't know if it was because of the pain or what, but he said he was only sleeping like 30 minutes a night. He said if he felt better and he had the desire to come back at some point, he might, but right now he's happy staying retired.
Yeah,
it's almost like he had planned on his retirement being the marquee retirement of the season.
And then Luck upstaged his ass.
Nobody's paying attention. So he has to remind, hey guys, you remember me? Yeah, remember I retired too. And I'm not coming back. Just wanted to let you know I'm not coming back.
But I want to hold a press conference just so I can make an appearance.
Right. I got to get in the last word.
Right.
I'm still retired.
They had the meme, and it was kind of an interesting meme or whatever but it was whose abrupt retirement surprised you the most? Was it Calvin Johnson? Was it Gronk, Andrew Luck, Barry Sanders? Like those four are very
close, actually, in my opinion. I think all of those are pretty darn good.
Oh, I think Luck goes above and beyond everybody else.
Even
Everybody
Barry?
else did it. Yeah, they all did it in the off season. We were all under the impression up until Saturday night that Andrew Luck would still be the starter. Everybody from the Colts organization was reassuring everybody that Andrew Luck would be ready to go as the Colts starter week 1.
And then Saturday?
Yeah.
Psych, motherfuckers.
Bombshell. Yeah.
So I can't blame Andrew Luck either.
Well, he got fucking railed the first few years of his career. They put no line around him. And he got fucking murdered in Indy. And he said that if what I had read was correct, he had said that basically when he was hurt 2 years ago, because he won Comeback Player of the Year last year.
Right.
Was it 2 years ago he missed the whole year? I don't know if he missed part of the year before. And he had said that nobody called to check on him. Nobody even offered him so much as a sandwich. He was just kind of outcast until he came back, which shame on the Colts organization and really his teammates for that, if that's the actual case. Because just as a fucking human being, if Jeremy got, not so much you, but if Jeremy got hurt,
Yeah.
I would call and make sure that Jeremy was okay. Do you need anything? My neighbor had shoulder surgery, and I'm like, hey, dude, if you need me to just fucking reach something or you need to shift or move around, let me know. Just give me a shout. Scotty, you're on your own.
Yeah,
but
fuck Scotty.
yeah.
All the
Well,
time.
and I think there was still the air for a long time around Indianapolis. You're not Peyton.
Oh yeah.
That's probably
There,
pretty
there
accurate.
was some resentment, I think, towards him by the players, by the fans.
Yeah.
You know, what a shocking move that was to get rid of one of the best of all time to go with you, and then now you're hurt.
Now I've heard it also too, and again, this is all speculation, but I also had heard that he refused to sit behind Peyton. He said he wasn't going to sit; he wanted to start. Now I don't know if that's accurate or not, but
I think it was more affording the two of them on the same roster at the same time.
Well, he was a rookie. He was drafted, and that was after Bradford.
right.
Bradford was the last one with that enormous, like, you can sign to whatever you want. You can sign your number 1 draft pick or your draft picks to however much money you want to. And then once Bradford signed, after that, they capped that you could only sign them at so much.
I almost wonder, and again, I'm speculating. I don't even know if I should say this, but nobody listens. So
So yeah, go
so
for
I'll
it.
go ahead and say it. He talked about going through this cycle of injury, rehab, repeat. This a lot of times leads guys to have some problems with opioids, with painkillers.
Sure.
And so I wonder if maybe there's not some off the field issues with that he needs to deal with, or that it could maybe escalate. They were saying today, people talk about all the money that he's leaving on the table. He's made $100 million cash just from playing in his career.
He's got a degree in
fine.
architecture.
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
fine.
under 30.
Yeah,
he's good.
He's fucking good.
And if this is maybe costing a lot of strife at home or in his personal life, or if he sees this going down a bad road, I'm sure, $100 million and the ability to walk later on in life is more than enough compensation.
Yeah,
So
he said that last injury that he went through when he fought back to come back from that. He said, I'll never do that
yeah,
again.
I won't play through it ever again is basically what he was saying.
And you were talking about the opioids, and another quarterback comes to mind. Granted, he's a piece of shit, and he should have retired the first fucking 13 times. Well, it was Brett Favre. I remember Brett Favre saying that he would throw up Vicodin. Like, he'd take it, throw up, and then get on the ground, pick it back up, and then take it again.
yeah, he voluntarily went to
Christ.
rehab.
Yeah.
He had one off season after the season ended. He announced he was going to rehab for painkillers. Yeah, he's another guy who just kind of held his team hostage for all those years.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I can see a chip on Rodgers' shoulder for that because am I playing? Am I not playing? Am I playing? Am I not playing? Am I playing? Here we go again. Every year I'm gonna retire. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not.
I was a first round draft pick, motherfuckers. I'm
Yeah.
not chopped liver here. Why are you letting this guy dictate what you're gonna do?
Yeah.
And what's going on in my career?
Well-
but he's a guy who makes me hate Tom Brady. By the way, Andrew Luck, and seeing all these press conferences because while being a first-round draft pick and having all the talent in the world, the trade-off for Andrew Luck was he's an ugly motherfucker.
He is one goofy
Oh, God,
motherfucker.
yes.
He looks like an asshole out of Narnia.
He looks like the guy that changed my oil at Jiffy Lube.
So to be as good as Tom Brady and win and be the most gorgeous man on the planet, fuck you, Tom. You don't get to have everything. God damn it.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to cut him. Somebody cut his fucking face, put some scars on there, and ugly him up, because that is not right to be that talented and that handsome.
I did want to move on eventually, but I did want to talk about this. So did anybody else see the Indianapolis Colts fans booing him off of the field?
I
as
was
he
actually
walking?
getting ready to say that, and
Yes.
shame on them.
That's fucked up.
That is, he literally got his ass whipped
Yeah.
for years for you guys.
Yeah.
And that is at a preseason game.
Yeah.
That is the fucking reception that guy gets. That's sad.
It is.
And I understand as a fan and a very diehard fan at every team I root for, I get it in the heat of the moment. I can kind of understand that, but and he didn't put them in the best situation. Brissett's not bad.
I was getting ready to say that. Jacoby
Yeah.
Brissett is not
He
that
backed
bad.
up Brady. He did okay backing up Brady. Granted, Brady's line is not Indy's line.
No.
I mean, Castle backed up Brady, and well, I guess Castle went to the Chiefs and still won 10 games his first year, 9.
And Brissett has started a number of games in Luck's
So-
place. So it's not like
Because
they're
Luck was
getting
fucking hurt.
Right, but it's not like they're getting an inexperienced guy. Now,
Right.
the leadership of the team now falls, I think, probably to a more experienced lineman.
I think it falls. No, I think it goes to T.Y. Hilton.
It can't fall onto a receiver. They're too selfish and want to center the team around them. It's up to a lineman to
D-back,
keep
maybe.
on the offensive side in the huddle to keep everybody
T.Y. Hilton's the next best player on the team after Luck.
right. He's the next best player, but as far as leadership goes, he's the guy in the huddle who's going to have to tell everybody else shut up and listen to the fucking quarterback. He's
So
the guy
would
who's
you-
got to keep everybody in line. You can't have your
Let me ask you this though: would you say Jerry Rice wouldn't have been a team leader then? Because he was a wide receiver.
not as far as on the field.
Really?
Yeah.
I would actually take Steve Young over Jerry
You,
Rice on the field.
I'm not saying he wouldn't have stepped up and been a leader. What I'm saying is, on the field, the quarterback has to be in charge. It's up to a lineman now to make sure these more experienced guys treat the quarterback with the same respect.
Right.
Andrew Luck had their respect. He was the field general. With him gone and leadership in question, a back or a receiver is going to try and take over and demand the ball every fucking time and bitch in the huddle whenever they don't get the ball. And so it's up to a lineman to shut that guy the fuck up because
Do you think Jerry Rice ever bitched about not getting the ball though? I really don't think he did.
right. That's not
maybe
really
not.
what I'm saying. You can't have somebody other than the quarterback giving orders,
I understand
calling
that
the
part.
plays. And it's up to a lineman to make sure that everybody else understands that. Because he's used to doing shit without getting any accolades for it. That's typically who the leadership falls to. They have to kind of basically
I
they
see
have
your
to
point.
they have to make the quarterback the figurehead.
I see your point. How about this? Would you take OBJ yelling at you if and he's the best player on the Browns, probably most athletic?
I don't know. I think Baker Mayfield's the leader of that team.
Guess what position he plays?
I understand that. I understand that. But I'm saying OBJ's different. OBJ is a prima donna. Antonio Brown's a prima donna. They're both divas. But really, you don't see much out of T.Y. Hilton like that, I don't feel like. And T.Y. Hilton's had his fair share of injuries,
He
too.
has too, yeah. He's Luck's best friend too.
Yeah, and he succeeded without Luck.
yeah.
I feel like that if you want that veteran leadership, I feel like T.Y. is the guy to be like, hey, look, and especially to pull Jacoby aside and be like, hey, look, here's the deal. We're okay. We're going to get this figured out, and pull him aside. And he's the guy I feel like that should extend that olive branch and be like, look, I know he's gone. I understand. We're going to build a relationship here. We're going to be okay. I think that's the guy that needs to pull Brissett in and do that.
Off the field, yes. I'm talking about in the huddle when everybody needs to rally around one guy and they need to have the confidence in that one guy. And people are going to be trying to go other ways. And it's typically a lineman that keeps everybody in line.
Oh,
I don't disagree in that sense, but I just feel like that T.Y. Hilton is a guy that also needs to step up in that role as well.
Oh, yeah, as far as providing veteran leadership and,
Yes.
and making sure that the other receivers know Brissett's in charge now.
Yes.
sure.
Yes, that's definitely on him.
The other thing I want to say about the Luck deal, again, allegedly, is there was a tweet that had come across from a guy, and I don't know the validity of it, but they had said that Andrew Luck had taken his car into a dealership and all 4 of his tires were slashed.
I saw that too, and if that is the case, that's more fucked up.
I hope that's not the case. I would hope that Colts fans wouldn't do something like that. Granted, that's got to be a very rich Colts fan that lives in Andrew Luck's neighborhood, which most of us diehard fans are poor pieces of trash that live vicariously through these guys.
It was Vinatieri.
Yeah, right.
Who would have thought Andrew Luck retires before Vinatieri?
Not me.
Well, did you see the thing that said you have however many years, but you have Peyton Manning and Luck, and you get 1 ring out of the deal?
Yeah.
I feel the same way. You could say the same thing with Favre. Well, no, Favre got 1 and Rodgers got 1, so they had 2.
Yeah.
The thing with Andrew Luck retiring when he did, I can see that there's some, why there would be some chapped asses over this. This is really poor timing. Mm-hmm. You had to have some inkling that this was coming.
He was hurt anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, this was on your mind going into the season.
Yeah.
Hopefully he at least put the bug in ownership and management's ears that, hey, I may not make it through the preseason here.
Sure.
You know, if he just left them high and dry when they're counting on him, because they literally did go from, you know, potential Super Bowl contender to, you know, maybe
dead
not
last in their division.
Yeah,
There was a guy that bet
struggling to win 5
$1,000
games.
There's a guy that bet $1,000 in Vegas at a sports book for him to win MVP right before that at 10-1, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know if that's technically dead money or if he just literally just
I would
threw his
think
money
they'd
in the
have to
trash.
refund his bet.
I would think, but maybe not.
Well,
Yeah,
that's when we get to
What if he
Casinos-
still won it?
Casinos are fucking. I mean, if you find a chip on the ground, on the floor of the casino, if you're walking to the bathroom and there's a casino chip right there, that's their property. Technically, that's stealing if you pick that $100 chip up or $20 or a $5 or $1. Technically, that's stealing. That is considered their property.
That's crazy.
So I don't know how that would work.
Well, we're going to get into a little bit of shit like that because that is a fantasy football fail. Because you got so many people that had their drafts this last week and they were smarter than what we were. And
Well, we had one guy that made us not have our draft Labor Day weekend, like I thought would be a great idea, and then didn't show up for our draft when we moved it 2 weeks earlier. So
But so we unfortunately got to have our draft way early, and now you have shit like this happening. Now you have guys that have Andrew Luck on their team. Another person that we're going to get to is Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller goes down in a preseason game, tears his ACL, and now is out for the remainder of the season.
you want to hear a funny story? Is I'm in nerd line at the fucking Harry Potter bullshit, and I'm going to get another fucking $9 butterbeer, and I pull up ESPN, and it says Lamar Miller out for possible torn out ACL, and I'm in line with my wife because she's in our fantasy league because she's really cool.
Yeah.
And I said, hey,
And we needed a 12.
that's
why
how
Scotty's in
that's
there.
how you got in, actually, Jeremy.
Exactly.
But I go, holy shit, Lamar Miller just tore his ACL. He's out for the year. And the guy in front of me, I'm in Denver, keep in mind, goes, are you fucking kidding me? Like out of nowhere, I'm like, huh? And he goes, Miller tore his ACL? I said, yeah, dude, he's out for the year. And he's like, I mean, I know I'm supposed to be having fun here, but motherfucker, this shouldn't ruin my day, but it's fucking ruined my day. And I'm sitting here thinking, this whole event should have ruined your fucking day.
Yeah, what are the
But,
odds? What are the odds that somebody knows who that is at a Harry Potter
Well,
convention?
here's the funny thing.
Let alone two
Here's
of
the
ya.
funny thing. He thought I said Von Miller, which is the defensive guy. And I'm like, really? Have you already had your fantasy draft? And he's like, fantasy? What do you mean? I'm like, do you guys do like individual defensive players? Or he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Lamar Miller is the running back for the Texans. And he goes, I thought you said Von Miller. Okay, I'm cool. God damn, you gave me a heart attack and now I'm revived. And I'm like, gee,
Oh,
you
he
know
plays
what?
for the Broncos?
Christ.
Yeah, he's the best defensive player on the Broncos.
On the
Defensive
Broncos.
end, right?
Is he a linebacker?
Linebacker. He's a pass rusher. I
He's
know
a
that.
fucking stud.
He is. So you have players like Lamar Miller going down. Another one that's going down is Jordan Reed, tight end for Washington, which they kind of thought he was going to have a pretty decent year. They don't really know what to expect from Haskins as a rookie quarterback, but hopes were high. I just found out that not only did he have a concussion last preseason game, but this is now his 7th concussion as a professional football player.
Are you guys ready for excited for him to shoot himself in the chest so he can have his brain studied?
Oh God, that's
The-
awful.
There really does need to be. The NFL needs to put a max like 4. If you have 4 in your career, you need to get out. Here's the thing, a fact about concussions. It's tough to get one, but once you've had your first one, you become twice as likely to get the second one. Once you've had that second one, you become twice as likely as that. So now you're 4 times more likely to get a third. Then you become 8 times more likely to get a fourth, 16 times more likely. It just, once the brain gets injured in that way, it becomes far more susceptible to happen again and again and again. And we're finding out time after time that the long-term effects of that are devastating.
Jeremy, I think you're just full of shit and you're trying to show off that you're married to an Asian using your math skills.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
This is basically going, the 2, 4, 6, or no, 2, 4, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. That's my push to stay away from the metric system.
My next go fuck yourself is Jeremy after he recites like the first 135 digits of pi.
Yeah. Yeah. 3.14159265. I can't go any further.
You almost got a pin in the eye.
Oh shit!
I do like pie.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
French silk all the way.
American.
Yeah. I'm an apple guy, Dutch apple, but yeah, I do like the French silk. Mm-hmm. And then we're coming up on pumpkin pie season.
Oh God.
Do you ever put your dick in there?
I like everything French. I like French bread, French toast, French fries, French silk, and French ticklers. Those are my jams.
And you like Garcia? He's French.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I have stuck my dick in many pies, Scotty. To go back to that,
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. In fact, that was a big misunderstanding that we had at McDonald's. They make their pies look like pocket pussies, and that's fucked up. I thought they were basically saying, "Hey, here's something for you to do while we make your pie."
You're gonna blow that fucking lady's coffee lawsuit out of the water.
I mean, Jesus Christ! There's a statue of a clown in the lobby, like I'm not supposed to have an erection, and then they say right on the box, "Caution: filling may be hot."
It's not even a clown. It's all the kids in the play place.
I made sure that filling was hot.
Oh god damn!
My God!
You know what I found out recently? Speaking of McDonald's, I'm super excited, but I have to work, and I don't think I'm going to be able to go. I don't listen to heavy metal at all. I know you can't tell by looking at me, but there is a heavy metal band that is coming to a local bar here called Barleycorn. It's called Max Sabbath, and it is literally a metal band dressed as McDonald's characters with gore paint playing fucking metal. There's Mayor McCheese, Grimace, the Hamburglar. I'd heard about this and I thought, no way. And when I was talking to a guy, I was like, oh yeah, they're going to be here in like 3 weeks.
Shit.
Yeah, so Max Sabbath is the name of that band.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. Hamburglar's on the drums. Grimace is on the guitar.
Well, here you go. I'm going to let you guys tee off on this one,
We
too.
need to become groupies.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Max Sabbath groupies.
We could just dress up as the Nuggets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So another Patriots player gets popped for something illegal. Patrick Chung gets popped with cocaine, or he now is, I don't know, in jail or something like that.
Allegedly. He's allegedly in jail.
Allegedly.
I think it's funny that the Patriots are now finally becoming the old Dallas Cowboys.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. The Patriot way don't mean shit no more. It's like match the Patriot to its violent. What is it? One got jerked off. One got busted with coke. One killed a guy. Brick killed a guy.
Yeah, I stabbed him with a trident.
Josh Gordon just smoking the reefer.
Yeah, weed out the ass.
Yeah.
I know there's more. God damn, there's more.
Well, yeah, you've got
Tom Brady deflating everything.
and then Bill Belichick is Spygate.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody just breaking the law.
Well, there's a
Not really
difference
breaking the law,
between, breaking minor rules and fucking cocaine charges.
That's murder.
And no, that's fine.
We don't know what that guy did.
Right. And he took care of business by himself.
Yeah. Either that or got whatever you want to call it, suicided.
Odin Lloyd's family is like listening right now.
Oh,
probably. Yeah.
Oh no, he killed himself for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so after that fun news, I wanted to go over really briefly Daniel Jones, the first round pick for the New York Giants, sixth
Ahead of
overall
Haskins.
pick. Ahead of Haskins, currently in the preseason, after 3 games, is right now 25 for 30 with 369 yards, no interceptions, and 2 touchdowns with 1 fumble, 1 strip fumble.
Was it from running into somebody's butt? Because that's big in New York.
No, but that was the other New York team.
I know, but
So,
not to be outdone.
how many people made fun of him? How many of the New York
We
Giants
did.
fans freaked out? We made fun of him.
And I'll continue to do so.
Thank you.
Yes. Is he starting preseason games?
Actually, I think he kind of did the last one, if I remember
I
correctly.
still
can't
said
remember.
he was starting week 1. I want to see if it
I know.
happens.
Because, there's
I
a
see.
big difference between doing this against teams number 1s and doing it against their number 2s.
That is my point exactly.
And there is a big difference between the defensive packages you'll be seeing in preseason versus what you'll be seeing in the regular
That
season.
is correct. That is correct. Giants fans, calm the fuck down. This is preseason shit.
We also told them to calm the fuck down. Well, no, we didn't. We laughed at them when they drafted him.
Yeah, that's true.
So let them have their moment.
Yeah,
because
I get it.
at this point, it's the I told you so.
Yeah, but that's basically what you got head coach doing that. You've got the owner doing that, basically saying, I told you so. It's like, you should shut the fuck up.
Oh,
right
yes,
now.
yes.
Keep your mouth closed and just be like, playing it off. If you think he's that great, during the preseason game 3 is the last time you want to do that.
And a lot of teams aren't playing their starters anymore.
Does
The Bears haven't hardly played Mac, Trubisky, none of those guys.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember when Anderson Silva was fucking jawing at that fucking dude in the ring, just fucking cocky playing games with him,
I
and
thought
then
you
got
said
knocked.
fucking John.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's John?
Yeah, John. No, and then he got knocked the fuck out.
Yep.
That's what happens when you talk a bunch of shit
Chris
without
Weidman.
knowing what's going to happen. And then didn't he break his leg trying to leg kick
So
Weidman later on?
First fight, he was kind of doing the razzle dazzle, and Chris Weidman caught him with the swinging left hook that he thought he was going to be just outside of his reach.
He wasn't.
Turns out he wasn't. He was knocked the fuck out. Then the next fight, Anderson Silva tried to kick him in the leg, and he broke his fucking leg in half.
I mean, it's one thing to come out and say, yes, we're pleased with his performance so far.
Yes.
It's another thing to come out and say, yeah, we told you so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're going to wind up looking stupid.
My favorite one is the Adrian Broner one, where he's fighting, he's
Adrian
boxing the
Broner?
dude, Adrian Broner, the boxer, and he's fighting that dude, and he actually kind of humps his leg, and he's fucking with him the whole time, and then he got knocked the fuck out, and then the other
there's tons of 'em.
humped his leg back later on in the fight. He fucking did the whole thrust thing, and then he ended up I think he knocked him the fuck out. He lost the fight. Broner lost.
Was that Mason the Lion Dixon?
No, that was
Antonio
Tony.
Tarver.
Was it Tarver? Yeah, not Tony Tarver. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for those of you folks that have not drafted your fantasy football draft, good luck this weekend, which I think where most of them are going to end up doing. So good luck.
We wanted to do it.
We actually do have a draft that I think I'm going to be a part of. Jeremy may be a part of it too. That we're going to do as a show. So even if one of us drafts it, we'll
When is
manage
this
it together.
happening? Apparently, I'm out,
Yeah,
guys.
well, because
so.
you work. It's at Saturday night at 7.
Oh, well, fuck you both.
No, all right. Well, we're gonna try.
Fuck you very much.
Yep, exactly. But we'll see how we do.
We're going to do it as a show?
Yeah, we're gonna do it as a show. We're gonna manage this team as a show.
Oh, we're not broadcasting the draft.
No,
Okay,
we'll
'cause
give the results.
Boy, yeah.
Yeah, but we get to do this one together and go up against a couple.
It's like
Couple
pregnancy
teams-
test when revealed. They don't broadcast the conception. They just broadcast whether or not it's positive or negative.
Right, exactly. All right. Well,
We have also
What else?
what Elliott and Gordon.
yeah, we do have Elliott and Gordon. We got Elliott and Gordon holding back. That's going to affect your draft too.
Yeah, I got Gordon late though. I didn't. It's not like I picked him early. I picked him in like what the
Eighth.
Eighth.
Yeah, that was a fucking steal. Even if he sits
Plays
out.
half the season. I'm still good.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too.
Did you hear Colin Cowherd talking about Ezekiel Elliott
No, what about
and Jerry Jones? He brought up a very good fact. Shortly after Ezekiel Elliott got into the league, he got in legal trouble with
That's true.
all the women. And, it
There was
turned out there
actually-
was some, it wound up not being as
Not
true as
true.
we thought it was, but he put himself in a position picking the wrong people to be around, and he just made some really poor decisions. And the league turned their back on him, the press turned their back on him, the fans turned their back on him. Jerry Jones went to bat for him, tried to get the fucking commissioner fired over some of the statements that he had made about Ezekiel Elliott. Jerry Jones has gone to the mat for Ezekiel Elliott. And so for Zeke to be paying him back this way, and, he really thought, Colin Cowherd really thought that that was a statement, picking Will Smith's kid.
yeah, Jalen Smith?
Yeah. And paying him what he did because he's a feel-good story.
Yeah.
He's grew up a Dallas fan. But basically, he thinks that Jerry is not going to pay Zeke and that Jerry is going to hang on to him for 2 years and then franchise tag him for a third. And just basically saying, you are not going to fucking push me around.
That does
I
help
went
my
to
fantasy team.
Yes,
I
it
went
does.
to bat for your ass And I'm not going to fucking be pushed around.
I actually agree with you. After all of this stuff that's happened over the last week, I think you're probably right.
Well, they offered him number 2 money.
And that's fine.
Yeah, they offered him money. It's in between Bell and Gurley's salary. And like Bell is making like 14.2 and Gurley I think is making like 15.1. I mean, it's a small number, but he wants to be the highest paid running back in the league.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
But what do you think about Melvin Gordon? What do you think is going to happen with him?
Oh, he's fine.
He's fine?
They say now that now that Miller went down, there's a possibility that there could be a trade maybe for Clowney.
Okay.
In Houston. But now there's new talks. There's also talks now, though, about Jay Ajayi, because Jay Ajayi is still a free agent.
Yeah.
So Jay Ajayi could end up in Houston as well, which I don't think would be a bad thing at all. Mm-hmm. But so I don't know what's going to happen with Gordon. He's prepared to hold out into the season. Mm-hmm. I've looked at this about daily, hoping that he's going to play.
You mean Gordon?
Melvin Gordon.
Oh, I thought you said Gore.
No, Gordon. I've looked daily because I have him on my fantasy team now to see what's going on. But he's prepared to hold out. And I think both these guys they're both in losing situations.
Yeah, they are. And I think if you have your draft this week, hopefully you've done enough research to figure out, okay, I'm not going to be taking either Melvin Gordon or Ezekiel Elliott within the first 2 rounds. I would hope you would do that because there's going to be a good possibility that some of these guys don't come in until, week 8, or at least week 3.
So,
and you have to put them at that point in time in the same category as Kareem Hunt. Because that's when he's
week 8.
That's week 8.
Yep.
So you kind of have to look at
them
week
like 9. You got an 8-game suspension. It'll be week 9.
And that's right. And then he's got a bye too.
So maybe week 10.
Yeah.
It's after.
I believe so. Okay. Yeah, he's got a bye that he has to sit out too.
The money per year. Todd Gurley 14.375. Le'Veon 13.125. So if they're offering him say $14 million a year, and you're not taking that over $375,000 going to change Elliott's life?
Nah.
No. And with the market he's in, I mean, they say they're America's team. They probably sell the most merch.
They do.
I mean, Elliott's jersey. Granted, they're making money off him, but Elliott's got to get some kickback off the jerseys, the endorsement deals, all this stuff that he's just leaving on the table.
It is, and that is the biggest franchise in the world.
Yeah,
in the world, the Dallas Cowboys is the largest franchise in the fucking world. Period.
Really? Even more than like some of the European soccer teams?
European soccer team is the second, and Dallas Cowboys
Manchester United?
Manchester United, I believe you're right. Yeah. And then the Dallas Cowboys.
I would have thought bigger because football, real football, is the one you don't play with your feet. That really is kind of an American only sport, whereas Manchester United really does transcend
everywhere.
The globe.
Sure.
Them and Chelsea and I don't even know. There's Liverpool. A second fucking Manchester team that Manchester FC or some shit.
I don't fucking know.
Fuck them.
Manchester
FC. It's United all the way.
Manchester divided.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
love
other
them.
Manchester
That's what it is.
team. Yeah.
So now comes another part of the show where we're getting just tons of positive reinforcement about this particular segment. This one is called The Shitty Situation. Okay, so the shitty situation is basically our rendition of Would You Rather. We just don't want to get sued. So
the fact that you acknowledge that really opens us up to lawsuits, actually. You would be so much better off playing ignorant on that.
Okay, I'm just going to say this is the shitty situation.
It's a little late now.
Okay.
It's Would You Rather.
Nah, who gives a shit?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we put ourselves into a shitty situation no matter what, but we have to choose which situation we want to have of the two shitty situations. All right. So, first situation. You have your favorite NFL football team has a star quarterback that retires 1 week before the season.
Son of a bitch. Like that'll ever happen.
Or situation number 2, your least favorite NFL team is guaranteed to win the Super Bowl. Go.
Who's going first?
You.
Me? All right. I'll take that guy retiring.
You would?
Oh, absolutely. I would rather watch my own parents get murdered in front of me than watch the Packers win the Super Bowl while I was masturbating to a video of my child getting hit by a car. I would much rather do those things than watch the Packers win the Super Bowl.
That's fucking awful.
Huh?
That's awful.
That's called Thursday. I hate Green Bay very much. I've already watched us draft bust after bust after bust.
That's true.
repeatedly.
You're definitely used to it.
Yeah, so that I'm totally used to that thing. So, and if the guy's retiring, great.
What if you're a Cleveland Browns fan? I mean, like, look
you've
at it
got
that
one
way.
quarterback. I mean, what do I have to worry? Who do I have to worry about retiring? If I was a Bears fan, Jay Cutler, Eric Kramer, Mitch Trubisky, who I'm still not fucking sold on. Who else? Shane Matthews, Jim Miller.
Well, and you're going to wind
Craig
up being,
Krenzel, Chad Hutchinson. I'm not worried about any of those guys fucking retiring.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you would be disappointed in Cleveland. That's
Yeah.
fucking everyday life there.
I almost feel like it has to be, you have to ask somebody that's a Cleveland Browns fan to take my least favorite team
If I was
retiring at this point.
If I was a Cleveland Browns fan, if we were asking a Cleveland Browns fan, I would change it and ask if they would rather go through the situation again,
Again? Okay.
or have
Okay.
your least favorite team
win
win
the world or win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How about you, Jeremy?
Oh, I would take my quarterback retiring any day. I grew up,
You
went
take
to high
Mahomes
school.
retiring
Yeah.
over who winning the Super Bowl?
Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
I grew up.
Oh,
I went to high school in the early half of the 90s. So I had to live through the Dallas Cowboys winning 3 Super Bowls.
And the invention of the wheel.
I know how awful it is. The what? I've been just, driving my car over here on blocks.
the wooden spoke
You
wheel.
must have got your tires from R&R, apparently.
Yes. I got some old, late 90s model Firestones. God, that's a joke only old people will get to. But no, I grew up a Houston Oilers fan, the first probably third of my life. Ever since then, I've been Chiefs fan, once the Houston Oilers weren't around anymore. Then I became a Chiefs fan. On 3 separate occasions, my team has blown insurmountable leads in the second halves of playoff games.
Once to
I have
luck.
seen my K-State Wildcats lose twice on 2 different occasions, lose games that they should have easily won that would have sent them to national championship games. I have seen the road paved just right for my Wildcats to make it to the Final Four, and they fuck it up every time. I have learned to cope with that disappointment, but it all pales in comparison to dealing with the fucking Dallas Cowboys fans who are still hanging their goddamn hats on Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and fucking Michael Irvin
And Jay Novacek.
Yeah, Jay Novacek and
Larry Allen.
and Moose and fucking
Mike Moustakas.
Yep, yeah, that's right. he was the youngest fullback in Dallas Cowboy history.
He was he played running down his mother's leg.
Jesus, would he? Yeah, he would have been.
Yeah.
Barely.
Oh,
But
shit.
but yeah, it was an awful time, and they stole that team basically from the Vikings, and
Oh, was that
fucked
the
them.
Herschel Walker trade?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they fucked them over so bad, and there was no salary cap at the time, so they just bought their fucking team, and suddenly everybody was a Dallas fan. You never saw Dallas Stars because like 2 years prior they had gone 1-15, and it was. I had a T-shirt that said, "With the lady who left her 11 kids at Texas Stadium, pick them up. They're beating the Cowboys 14-0." And so, they just became such arrogant assholes. And it was an awful time for everybody in America. It was worse than, I'm going to say it's slavery.
Oh, God. That's awful.
Scotty?
So,
The Patriots winning the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Or,
okay.
I know your least favorite team's the Patriots.
It is. It is, but I can also kind of have an out in this question though. I don't have a favorite team,
Okay.
so
this is
You're
really a
the
stupid
best
category
player-
for you to pick.
this is
The best player on your fantasy team for 5 years in a row.
It doesn't matter. I would definitely let my quarterback retire. I cannot take another New England Patriots Super Bowl.
All right, let's do this. Let's
No
do this.
way in
let's,
hell.
Since you don't have a favorite team in the NFL, what about if Greg Marshall decided to retire the week before the WSU started, or your least favorite, the Jayhawks winning the national title?
Fucking shit.
Now we can fix it.
You're such a dick.
Yeah, now it's a shitty situation.
God damn it. Oh my god, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Can I revise my statement? I don't want to say it was worse than slavery, but I'm not
9/11.
exaggerating. It was worse than 1,000 9/11s.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Fuck you. This is really a shitty situation.
Yeah, so you got to figure this out. You got to go and go.
I would rather take Greg Marshall retiring.
Greg Marshall retiring, then KU win the national title?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, and it's not even that hard.
Yeah.
It's not even that difficult. I'll find another coach. Mm-hmm. And now he's put us in a situation where we're going to get another decent coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's become a desirable coaching job now.
Yeah.
And I never want to see the KU Jayhawks win a national championship ever again.
No, me neither.
Ever again. Ever again. So that
Ever again.
sucked.
They only do it once every 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Yet they have the best fucking team in the entire country every single fucking year.
Money, money, money.
Yeah, money talks.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's all I have, guys.
All right.
Do you guys have anything at all? Nothing?
No.
Nothing funny? All right, fine.
Holy shit, I'm drained.
I know
I'm
you're
wiped.
Yeah. Sorry. I think my sister may be under the table jerking me off.
It might be.
Is.
Yeah.
I got next, Manders.
Fuck you. All right, guys. So we are the Unfiltered Sportscast. You can follow us on Facebook. Which Facebook? We're now...
Wow, you didn't even take my subtle hint.
No.
Strikeforce.com.
Oh, I didn't even get that.
Jesus.
My bad.
Jesus.
I was going to do this. I was going to do something else first, but now we can
No,
do
you
it.
weren't.
Oh, maybe I can.
You weren't.
Oh, my
You
bad.
were going to fucking breeze right through Strikeforce. They're our sponsor.
Okay, that's fine.
They're what makes this show go around.
So you want to not be drained?
I
You want me to stop?
yeah, I'm getting a little sore right now. Honestly, for somebody who doesn't really seem to have a regular job, she's got really calloused hands. She's missing a finger on both hands.
So my made-up figment of imagination sister is losing appendage episode by episode by episode.
She's
Yeah,
got
she's a
to
leprosy whore.
she's got to get that diabetes under control, Scotty.
okay.
Yeah, she's already a double amputee, and now she's missing a ring finger on one hand. I think she might have pawned it,
I hope it's the left hand.
Right.
and then on the right hand is the thumb.
Yeah. Okay. Fun.
Yeah.
All right. So
Oddly enough, her bowling score's gone up.
well,
Jordan, she's still single.
And how does she rent bowling shoes with that peg leg? That is weird.
yeah,
Bowling shoes. She gets half price.
Fair enough.
it's like a table rubber thing that goes on the bottom.
The
of
furniture
the peg leg.
movers?
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
One. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Boy, that really wouldn't inhibit sliding.
No, you kind of have to slide and bowl.
Strata Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't be able
She
to
is
slide
the
with a
bowling
rubber
ball.
stopper.
She is the bowling ball.
Is she
takes
really?
all- yeah. She takes all the pins out.
Okay, you've seen some girls do that ping pong ball trick. She does it with a bowling ball. It's like a goddamn cannon. Fucking howitzer coming out of your sister's puss.
So anyway.
She was down at the fucking campus bowling center there at WSU when the crew team was out practicing. She sunk a ship.
So fucking wrong.
I know. They were just trying to practice.
Oh, you're just doing this because you're low on energy. So
I am.
I'll get you
I'm-
some Strike Force there, buddy.
Okay, fair enough.
It helps. It helps a lot.
Tell me about it.
Strike Force Energy. It's an additive for an energy drink. It's basically an energy drink in a packet that you can put in any beverage. It comes in 4 flavors. It comes in lemon, orange, grape, and original, which we call Nick Foles because it tastes just like them. It tastes like freedom. And then it is a great product because it has no calories, no sugars, and the exact same amount of caffeine as a regular cup of coffee. It just kind of depends on what size of cup of coffee that you have.
Sure.
So check them out at strikeforceenergy.com. Use the promo code No More Cans to get 20% off of your order, and they deliver or they ship everywhere in the entire world. And I've got a lot of military friends that have used them for years and swear by them. It is a great product.
You don't have a lot of friends.
You're a dick. Check them out at strikeforceenergy.com. So anyways,
now on with whatever
I was saying. We are the Unfiltered Sportscast. You can follow us on Facebook at the Unfiltered Sportscast.
And we are awesome.
Oh, shit. The page is growing. The Facebook page is getting exponentially larger day by day, which is really, really nice.
Like an erection.
Very good. You can you can find us on Twitter at Unfiltered Crew and Instagram at the Unfiltered Sportscast as well.
Did you tell all your wizard friends?
I told every damn one of them.
Handing out business cards.
Did you not see the 3 that are invisible sitting across from us right now?
No, they're invisible.
They're amazing.
I don't know how you fucking did that.
I didn't do that. They did it themselves. It's their magic.
No, I don't know how you went there.
Oh, how I went there?
To the Harry Potter deal.
By the Greyhound of the Skies, Scotty. That is how I went there.
You willingly went.
It's got all the accommodations of the average broomstick.
Yeah.
Including splinters in the ass.
Yeah. I joined the Half Mile High Club, which means I got jerked off by a hobo during takeoff.
Frontier doesn't actually have navigational equipment. They just follow the highway.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we were halfway through, and over the loudspeaker it said, recalculating.
They went through one of the Rocky Mountain tunnels.
Yeah. We took the John Denver path.
Jesus Christ. Well, guys, do us a favor. You are our advertisement for this endeavor that we have started. And we are now over 35 episodes, which I think that's kind of a cool milestone for us. But
how have we not been canceled?
Because we produce them. Exactly. Because Rob Schneider produces his own films. That is why.
But tell your friends for us. Also, whenever you go to our Facebook page, click the like and follow button and make it notify you whenever we share something. I'd say about 90% of the shit that we share is funny and 10% maybe news, something like that.
That's what I'm talking.
Exactly. But like we say, do us a favor. Tell your friends if you like us, and if you don't like us...
We hope your pee hole gets filled with jalapeno seeds.
That's so fucking painful. If you don't like us...
Tell your enemies.
Until next time, guys.
Take that filter off and make it dirty.
We'll see you. Take care.